So have you ever needed a bait bucket or a bait well to put your shad or your minnows in, but you didn't really have the money to go out and buy a good one? Well, I'm here to show you how you can make one on the cheap. What you're going to need for this project is going to be a 5-gallon bucket, 2 lids that fit the bucket, a drill, a marking pen, and I used the Dremel tool for mine to cut off the edges, to cut out a notch on the edges, and then a bubbler kit. The one I have is Marine Products Hush Bubbles B16 model, and the most I have in this project is probably not even $20 at the most. The buckets I got, they came from a restaurant that I used to work at, and the bubbler I bought it from Walmart, maybe $15 at the most. So follow me now as we show you how to build this project. So we're going to start by finding a drill bit that is roughly the same diameter as the hose from the pump. And as you can see, that one there will fit the bill. It's okay if it's a little big, but don't want to make it like super huge, otherwise it'll leak a little bit. And then I place my pump on the side of the bucket about where you want it, and then you're just going to drill a hole in the top of your bucket. Okay, so that's the first step on that. We got the hole on your bucket drilled, and it looks like it's going to be a clean hole. And you can put your tube in there to see if it's going to fit. And actually, this one is a little bit too small, so I'm just going to take the fit and wallow the hole out a little bit more. Until you can get the tube to fit through the hole. So you don't want it to be too big or too small. So I probably, in this case, should have went with a bigger size drill bit. But there. The tube goes through the hole. And so that's what you want for that step. I'll take a screwdriver and just clean the burrs off the inside of that hole right there. And then hit it with a sanding block. Flip it over and hit the bottom side. Or I suppose you could use a X-Acto knife or something like that. But basically, you just want to get the little rough edges, and extra plastic off of here. So I've hung my pump on the side of the bucket here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a Sharpie and I'm just going to mark roughly where it goes. And if you notice on this lid, the lid on this particular bucket, it's got a notch on it right there, already cut out from the manufacturer, which is good, but I'm going to have to actually make that notch bigger because the lid won't go all the way down flush on the bucket, so I'm going to have to cut that notch out some with my Dremel tool. The slot in the top of the lid cut, the groove cut out like that. You go ahead and you put your pump on here, like so. You know, you hang your pump on the side, And then you get your hose. Feed the hose down into the hole on the top of the bucket. Flip the lid over, and then you get your air stone. Sorry about that, guys. Hold on. And then put your bubble stone on the air tube, like so, like that. And I'm having a little trouble trying to do this two-handed and record at the same time. Okay, which looks like that. So the stone's on the inside of the lid, and it's going to be too big to fit back through the hole, so that's good. So then pull the hose all the way through the bucket, like so. And then you just plug the hose at the top of the pump, like that. Like that. And there you have the completed bait bucket. Now that's your normal bucket for keeping it. The lid will keep the sun off of them, keep the water from getting hot. Because it's a white bucket, it'll reflect the heat instead of absorbing the heat like a dark bucket would. So that's your completed bucket there. Now on mine, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another lid and I'm going to drill holes in it to use when I change out the water, because this isn't the best option for a bait bucket, or for a live well I should say, or bait well, whatever you want to call it. This isn't the best option because water, ammonia builds up in the water and then it gets toxic to the fish. So this is great for if you want to be something on the boat for a couple hours, or especially if you're shore fishing, but this isn't the best option for a bait tank. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm taking an extra bucket, an extra lid, and I'm going to drill holes in it so that I can dump the water out of the bucket at some point while the bait's still in there and not lose the bait, and then put fresh water in there all without losing the bait. So that's what the second lid's for, and I'll go over that part in a minute. At this point we've taken the pump assembly off and the other lid that has the bubble stone in it, and I've got the second lid. Now I'm going to make the lid that you use to change water. That way you can put the lid in and it snaps on tight, and you can dump all the water out and then let fresh water back in it in case you're there for a long time. So what I did is I found where the handle is, and since the bucket pours that direction, we're going to orient the lid that way. We're going to put most of our holes right here opposite of the handle. That way when you dump the water, it goes that way, it flows that way naturally. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start drilling some holes on the end opposite of the bucket of the handle. And there you have the finished drain lid for it. Basically, like I was saying before, you just use it for when you want to change the water. Snap the lid on there, dump all the water out, dunk the water back in the lake, and let it fill back up. And then you switch it back to the lid with the bubbler to keep aerating the bait. Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure that you check out the recommended video above. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Come on, hit the button. You know you want to.